Hey everybody, it's Wednesday night. It's 9:05. Thank you for staying through to the end of the Beverly Hillbillies Marathon here on the Superstation. We are What's on Joe Mind, a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. How's everybody doing?
We're fantastic over here.
Yeah.
All right, you get just throw it out there at that point. It's just go for it. Go with what's the spirit is gonna move you. Joining me here in the top row, he is continuing his shiftless layabout ways now in the summer. It's rack time, Rob.
Hi. I'm shiftlessly laying about.
Right. It was an active day in Rob's world. You went to the comic store about noon?
Yeah.
And then I didn't see you again until like an hour ago.
Sure.
Yeah, like it was about it. He was just in the back reading his giant stack of comics. He's rack time Rob. That's what he does. In the bottom row, of course, we got a special bonus guest. I wasn't even aware he was coming in.
I sneak in like that.
But that's fine, man. We do surprise bonus guests. From Skeletron. The faces that run the places. Ben Conway and Marco Byrne on the show this evening.
Hey
guys. Fun to be here.
Thank you.
It's been so long since Ben's been on the show, he's forgotten what we do. And Mark is a rookie, so
I'm a rookie.
Right? It's like brand new. Go easy on them.
We know you won't, though, Mike. We know you won't.
We're ready for it. We're ready.
No, I am officially the worst, but I'm just saying for the live chat. You know, they smell blood in the water. These folks.
It looks pretty rough out there already.
Nowhere Manchild saying that we're the only thing better than the old cement pond.
All right.
That's must be in Texas this week. Keith O'Donnell shouting out the new guys.
Hey, Keith. Yeah, we love Keith.
He's great.
Keith's the best.
But seriously, Ben, I again, you've been on the show before, and I keep trying to get you back, and just something would always come up. Right.
There's a lot going on, Mike.
Right.
I told you we were going to do it, and here we are. And now we've got all kinds of stuff to talk about. It looks like it's a big week.
Right. Like everything finally fell into place. I remember there was one time where you had something that moved on you, and then we were about to have you back on again, and I decided to take 2 months off. And you know, we were two ships passing in the night for several months. So I'm glad we finally got you guys in the house.
We're happy to be here.
All right. You'd better be.
Yeah,
so we are. Mike told us
we're gonna have a good time too. Yeah. So I'm we're cracking my beer. We're gonna get settled in here and have a nice talk.
What you drinking tonight?
I've got Summer Sioux from one of my favorite breweries in beautiful Decorah, Iowa, is a brewery called Toppling Goliath.
Okay.
And so I'm going to try this one, and they're not not sponsoring them, but it's a really one of my favorite breweries. It's not too far from here. We're in southeastern Minnesota, so right. So Decorah, Iowa is not too far.
And Rack Time Rob, what excitement do you have brewing over there? Anything?
I got nothing.
Got nothing?
Nothing.
I of course I'm back to my Yeti cooler with my water. With ice that's been in here since last week's show. That's how good they are.
Mark's got a beer too. Mark, what are you drinking?
This is a classic Irish ale known as Smithwick's.
Okay.
So
I know them. It's been long enough that I don't remember them, but I know them. Anyway, I should probably. I hate to say this with the kids still on, but I should probably drink more. Anyway. Josiah Alcorn notes that looks like Rob got a haircut to break up his shiftless laying about. That was like 2 weeks ago.
Last week.
Last week, okay.
Gosh, so nice of him to notice, though.
No kidding.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Look, when Racktime Rob needs a haircut, it's easy. Yeah, he lets it go for a while. My joke for myself is that if I let it go too long, it starts looking like I'm wearing a bad toupee. And
That's when it's time.
And he's got the same genetics, so you fill in your own blanks. Am I saying that Rob's wearing a bad toupee?
No, he looks Rob, you look good, man. Solid haircut.
Somebody's got to.
Yep. Very debonair.
That's really why we brought him aboard full time after Jill Colton left. We didn't want to lose that sexy quotiont to the
I feel
program.
like you nailed it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what are we going to do better than that? We're not. We're not.
It's hard to top.
Doug Dello says he's got the Yeti sticker from the Joe Fest reveal. I'm guessing that's aimed at you gentlemen.
Yeah, that's awesome, Doug. Glad you were able to pick that up. That was a fun little giveaway that we brought after the reveal at the Celebration of Life for Aaron on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you say? Since we got a lot of news this week, and I don't want to keep you guys all night.
Just most of it.
Because I'm sure you looked at the channel and saw the times that we're used to running. But let's get to the news. See, we're like professionals.
Fancy.
That was fancy.
Bumpers and everything.
That was my opportunity to take a drink.
It was like professional.
It was like professionals.
Ish.
You gotta squint a little bit.
Yeah, fancy
Anyways.
music and everything.
We're going to start with the sad news this week, unfortunately, and then we'll move into better times. But as most folks saw on Monday, Jim Shooter passed away after a battle with esophageal cancer, which doesn't sound like that's any kind of fun. Jim Shooter, of course, we remember him best as the guy who was the editor-in-chief at the beginning of the G.I. Joe run at Marvel Comics. He was a staunch supporter of G.I. Joe at Marvel. And so, I mean, probably a big part of why we're here tonight. I would argue that he is one of the more important guys in the entire Bronze Age of comics. But Racktime Rob, you're our comics expert. Why don't you go ahead and give us your thoughts and you think Jim Shooter's effect on the industry?
Jim Shooter, basically, he's kind of like, I don't know if you know the story, but he broke into comics at 14. Drew out a script on notebook paper for a Legion of Superheroes story, sent it to Mort Weisinger, the editor of the Superman comics at the time, and that became that story became Adventure Comics issue 346. And from there, he kind of took over the Legion, did Superman, created the Parasite. Got tired of being browbeaten by Mort Weisinger for a while and left comics at the age of 17, and eventually came back in like the mid 70s, and where he started back at DC, drifted over to Marvel, wrote the Avengers, and it's a pretty good run on Avengers if you've never read it, and then became the latest in line to be editor-in-chief of Marvel, which was kind of a revolving door after Stan Lee gave up the position. And he held on to it for a good 8 years. And basically the Marvel comics we know today as kind of like the big juggernaut of comics, that a lot of that is from the foundation that Jim Shooter built there.
Yeah, Jim Shooter and really his generation there, they were the guys who at Marvel, they were the ones that really emphasized heroes playing in one another's sandboxes, right? It was the age of Marvel Team Up and the age of Marvel 2-in-1 and Spider-Man guest starring in everybody else's book and Captain America guest starring in everybody else's book. And Lord knows the Hulk was everywhere because he was on TV. But he was a stickler for continuity. I think lots of characters, lots of interactions.
He
Never
was a stickler for consistency, I would say.
right.
He was big on making the trains run on time too. So,
and again, at a time when books like G.I. Joe, what's the word I'm looking for? Licensed books from the owned by other parties, in this case Hasbro, when they were oftentimes an afterthought. Jim Shooter was a big backer of the G.I. Joe book back in the day, and a big part of why it got the platform it got. So we owe him quite a bit. Ben, Mark, you guys, when you got started in this crazy ride, were you comic book guys or cartoon guys?
I was a comic book guy as a kid, so I collected a lot of comic books as a teenager, really, in preteen, and then I got out of it. Marvel, I got out of it when Image, when basically right around the time Image started, and really haven't gotten deeply back into comics like I did in toys as an adult. So I was really into comics. And a lot of the comics I read, Jim was editor-in-chief of back in the 80s, because that was kind of my prime time for reading a lot of comics back in the day. And I think, it's funny when I think of, especially talking about G.I. Joe, us being G.I. Joe guys, isn't it true that the kind of the famous mystery shooter name that appeared in the G.I. Joe comics is attributed to Jim Shooter? Before that was, that was kind of a mystery for a while, where who was Shooter from that? Isn't that from that comic?
Right. It was a panel in G.I. Joe #1 where they were showing all the different members of the team, and there was the arm of the panel operator was blocking out a 14th window, but the nickname, the code name Shooter was underneath it. And so it sparked that whole discussion, and even eventually spawned the character in the G.I. Joe universe, Shooter, Jody Craig Shooter. So yeah, I mean, there's a very tangible effect on things there just by him kind of being there and letting his name stay in the book as an in joke for
seriously, that's all it was an in joke, and
it really lasted though, because it was that burning mystery, and it is pretty cool that it ended up resulting in a character Shooter.
Yeah.
After how many years later? I mean, decades.
Well,
right?
I mean, when was the last time toy fans were obsessive about things? We're not 40 and 50 something year old men doing a podcast about G.I. Joes or anything.
It always threw me that people were like, well, who's Shooter? They never did this show. There's an extra show out there that said it's an in joke about Jim Shooter. He was the editor-in-chief at the time.
Right.
People were like, no, it's got to be something else. Whatever, man. Look at the credits.
His name's in every book. It's just at the front. But anyways, Jim Shooter was 73. Our condolences to his family and loved ones. We will forego Doots on the next news item.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget too. He wrote created the big comic book event. He wrote Secret Wars. That
he did, yeah. Back in 84.
Wrote
in 84, and it was published in 85, and
no, it published in 84.
Or well, whatever it was, it was kind of the beginning of his end at Marvel, but that's a whole other story for another day. So we'll move on to the next news item. And that is Roger's GoFundMe is back in our news section anyway. Our wonderful friend and regular guest on the program, Roger Taft, one of the writers and one of the co-publishers and one of the founders over at After Action Report. He has been having issues with his eyesight for a couple of years. And as a self-employed businessman, Roger is woefully underemployed, because that's how things go in today's healthcare marketplace. So Roger has set up a GoFundMe in an attempt to get the surgeries that he needs to restore the vision in his left eye. I think I'd have to go check. We have the link to it down in the description. Please, when we're done here tonight, go check that out. I know it's been a week of a lot of dollars and cents getting pledged and tossed around and spent and what have you. But if you got $1 or $2 or $5, please think of Roger. Maybe send a little bit his way, because every little bit is going to help. And of course, yeah, as his friend, we appreciate that. I don't have a lot of voice tonight. Next news item. I'm just gonna little doots on that.
Little doots on that.
All right, gonna build back. Similar story for Jamie Sullivan. Of course, Jamie's foot has been a point of complaint on our program for many moons now. But Jamie is almost at the point where he can have this surgery to save his foot. Remember, his insurance company decided it's better if he loses his foot. Who needs 2 feet? Crazy talk. So Jamie, of course, and his family turned to a GoFundMe as well. They are still just a few $1,000s short. So again, if you've got $1, $2, $5, whatever you got laying around, we have the link for that down in the description below. I know I'm a broken record here, but times are tough, and $2 helps. So please give that a visit when we're done here tonight, and let's help Roger and Jamie with their really serious maladies. Next news item. Hey, I know it's not actually breaking news, but we're going to call it What's on Joe Biden Breaking News.
Do we have a bumper
It's
for that?
breaking news to me. I've not seen these results.
This is breaking.
We do not.
I have no idea.
I can play the news bumper again.
This just in.
The fans in command polls have closed over at codenameiowa.com. These are your final poll results. This is the 6-man G.I. Joe squad that will be at the front of the assault on Cobra Island and all of the promotional artwork that's going into this year's Assembly Required in November. That's right. It's Beachhead, Mainframe, Wetsuit, Roadblock, Snake Eyes, and Recondo. There was no comeback for Torpedo, no comeback for Lady J. Wetsuit and Roadblock with the last late sprint to get themselves in those final 2 spots.
It makes sense.
How do you guys feel about this? Because I voted, and you get a drop down for each slot, right? So,
right.
I mean, I'm looking at the mainframe. Like, who was the competition for mainframe?
I believe those were the technical experts. Like, it was Mainframe or Dial Tone or Breaker and guys like that.
Okay.
Dial got squeezed out.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely did. I don't remember who I voted for, but it wasn't mainframe. I remember that.
More or less, this is the team that I had. I mean, of course, I voted for Beachhead. I'm not so proud as to say I'm not that. I'm basic enough to vote for Snake Eyes. I'm a Recondo guy. I'm big on Wetsuit because I don't think he gets enough representation. I don't remember who I picked in the other 2, though.
Gotcha. So your guys, you got some of your guys. I definitely voted for Recondo. I think I voted for Roadblock too. Probably with Spirit. I think I might have thrown some love to Spirit instead of Snake Eyes. Just trying to go another direction. But you can't beat Snake Eyes.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
If you put Snake Eyes in the poll, Snake Eyes is going to win the poll, right?
Every time.
Yeah.
You're not. I'm surprised that Recondo put that much of a butt whipping on that.
Recondo's awesome.
Look, Recondo's great, but I just never thought of him as being that popular, right? Like,
yeah, I don't remember who he was up against though, but he got my vote. I do remember that.
I remember that too. So again, keep an eye out at Codename Iowa and Assembly Required. They're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on Instagram. They've got all the social medias, and I'm sure you'll see lots of great new artwork featuring these characters between now and November. And some of it'll even be available to you.
So some comments here. Somebody asked where Stalker is in the comments, and I don't think he could get a vote. I don't think he was in there.
I think Stalker was in the Beachhead one. He was the command guy.
Mm.
There we go. Cobra Emperor 6 is asking about Stalker. So I think he was one of the ones that fell to Beachhead.
Oh, I definitely would have gone Stalker on that. I
But,
mean, Slaughter was in that one too. So
yeah, Slaughter was in there. Flint was in there. That's an impressive win for my guy Beachhead.
Oh, he's your guy. That's cool.
Troy McKee notes that Ben voted for Storm Shadow in all categories.
I went in to do that, Troy, and I wasn't given the option. So
tried to write it in over and over.
There's no way to write in a vote.
It's like all-star voting. You got to go by position.
Joe ARAH notes that Epic Recondo stash prevails always.
That is a big part of the appeal, I think, for Recondo. He does have a great stash. I agree.
Right. Army of Darkness MagFed Paintball stating the obvious. Ben and Mark for Skeletron. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, Army of Darkness MagFed Paintball. Let's go.
That's a legendary name.
I mean, I know we're not going to get, at least for once, we are safe from tiny paint-filled projectiles. Just for once.
I see the Tom Selleck question too here.
Figure 6-pack Tom Selleck stash.
I mean, he's got a good stash, but it's not quite Tom Selleck level, I would say.
Yeah, it's certainly a different style.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean that Tom Selleck broom, that's a classic.
I mean, it's like Tom Selleck, Burt Reynolds. Who else is up? This is like the Mount Rushmore mustache.
Yeah, who would be on the Mount Rushmore mustaches?
That's 40 years of television history in that.
Who's the guy from Tombstone? The guy that.
Oh, Kurt Russell or
Kurt Russell's got a good one, but no, the other guy. He's also in
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. 100%.
Yes.
You gotta get Nick Offerman in there. Ron Swanson.
Oh yeah, Ron Swanson. That is a good mustache. So Nowhere Man Child. Recondo versus Quigley Town. Michael Gene Fleming asking, does Joe Colt know about these results? And I would say probably not, because we're not hearing her screaming no into the wind. She's got a problem with Recondo. I don't necessarily blame her, but considering the story behind those stories.
Yeah, who's she pulling for on this one?
Oh, God knows.
She's just pulling against Recondo.
Yeah, she just doesn't want Recondo to ever be involved with anything. It's I'll tell you after the show.
I didn't know serious Recondo hate existed out there.
Yeah, right? I was unaware.
Yeah,
it's really not the character of Recondo.
It's not really the character Recondo. It's a knee-jerk reaction. We'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
Wow.
It's not for public ears.
Yeah.
I see.
But
young impressionable minds.
Ron Army of Darkness nails it.
Yeah,
Ron Burgundy. Yeah.
That is a good mustache.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was a real mustache.
I don't think so, no.
But it was at least if you got to have a fake stash, it's at least the best of the fake stashes. Dark horse candidate, I would say Gerald McCraney, Mustache Hall of Fame.
From Simon and Simon.
From Simon and Simon and Major Dad.
Okay.
From Simon and Simon.
Well, I'm sure we're missing some really good mustaches out there, but
this won't be a comprehensive list, likely.
No,
right.
But I feel like we got the. Like,
I think we hit. I think we hit some top tier ones for sure.
Absolutely.
I think in the Family Feud, we're in there.
Yeah.
We hit a lot of
top, at least four.
We're running a pretty good chunk of the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We can feel comfortable that we've got 5 of those top 6 answers on the board.
Yep. I think so.
I'm feeling good.
And Steve Harvey hasn't stopped to insult us once.
Steve Harvey, there's a mustache.
That's a good mustache. Good mustache. Maybe that's number 6.
There you go.
All right. Yep. We filled the board.
Oh, goodness. So again, check out Codename Iowa on Facebook or online or wherever you get your social media nonsense. I'm sure they're going to have lots of great artwork between now and the fall and assembly required this November in Des Moines.
We will be there, by the way, too. So Skeletron will be at assembly required.
Excellent.
That is my all-time has to be favorite show because it was the first G.I. Joe event I ever went to. And I went down to AR1 and fell down that rabbit hole. So that's how it happened.
My first one too. Great show.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Yeah, a few years later. Yeah.
And I'll be back. It'll be my second one. I went for the first time to AR last year.
It's a good time.
And it was an amazing show. And like I always wanted to go. Like I was never avoiding AR. It's just I used to work in the travel business, and you can't get away from work in November. It's the busiest month of the year. So that was always the problem for me as far as getting AR. And now that I'm free of those particular shackles.
I see. Wow, I'm learning so much today, Mike. I didn't realize that November would be the busiest travel month that way. I know there's Thanksgiving, but still, it's
I guess
like,
that makes sense.
Oh, Thanksgiving, people planning for Christmas too.
Yeah. Thanksgiving's pretty well done by that point. You have some fools that panic and try to get in at the last minute for Thanksgiving. Yes, but it's more the Christmas travel.
Gotcha. It's the people that are planning ahead for Christmas.
Yeah.
For the holiday travel. I see.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, avoid that if you can.
Well, yeah, everybody should definitely. If you guys haven't made it to AR, absolutely come. Anybody that's listening, watching, it's a really fun show. Just a really friendly, kid-friendly, polished, but really kind of a small. It's a small mighty show, I would say. You know, it's because it is Des Moines in November, so it gets
right.
it gets everybody that's willing to best that. But
right.
it's really great. It's a great show. We'll be there, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
But, next news item. See, we're good enough to have a cool news bumper at the beginning, but not so cool as we don't have to go do on our own in between news items. We're riding that line. Hey, look, it's a Kickstarter. You know what that means?
Oh, hell yeah. I love this Kickstarter.
That's right. World War Hell is launched on Kickstarter. We've missed it by a couple of weeks, but I finally remembered, frankly. But anyways, it is funded, so you may go pledge with confidence. This is a 3 3/4 O-ring. If you like your zombies and you like your 1940s military and you love your O-rings, as we know you do, this is your Kickstarter. It's all right here for you. It's all in this one right here, and it's from Grindstone Toys.
Grindhouse Toys.
Grindhouse Toys. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. I said,
yeah.
I said, don't say Troy's company. It's not Troy's company. And then I went and said Troy's company.
Yeah.
No, this is Grindhouse Toys.
Yeah, that's Chris Scott's fault. You know, I blame him with the
100%.
Grindhouse, but he knew what he was doing when he picked that name, and he's got to live with it now. And he did pick an amazing name for World War Hell because I just think that's super awesome and metal. And I'm laughing at the comments right now. but if you guys haven't, if you guys pull it up, he's broke. I know who Army of Darkness is now. I know who this guy. I know who this guy is. He's yeah. But this I don't know if you're gonna pull it up, Mike, but we can. There it is.
Not the Longboner guys.
Oh no!
So inappropriate.
Come on, man. It's right there.
So inappropriate. Although what he really means, he does mean longbow, you guys. So he means call sign longbow. You can check out Longbow at cslongbow.com.
Not to be confused with longboner.com.
.com.
Right.
Yeah.
That's going to be very different.
which you could check that one out too, and you might be surprised.
Yeah, you might be surprised.
But this, okay, so coming back to World War Hell, since you're plugging it, it's super fun, and I'm really excited for this Kickstarter. It funded pretty quick, and I really want to see these some more stretch goals unlocked. So it's got 11 days to go. So I think hopefully we'll see a ramp up here in the next week, or at least obviously in the last 3 days. Things always go wild. But there's some really cool characters in this. If you scroll down on this, Mike, some of the characters in here are great because zombies are cool and all, but for me I think that there's a character, Sergeant Graves, in here that's super cool, and then he's got like I don't know if you can move this if you've got it on the browser or something.
This is just a slide actually.
Okay, forget it. Okay, I'll tell you about it quick, and it'll be almost as good as seeing how cool it really is. So good. So he's got this Sergeant Graves guy who's a World War II like commander dude, and he's got like this sword it reminds me of like a Conan the Barbarian, Conan sword, but then it's got like this slip-on flaming effect on it, so you can have just the sword or it's a flaming sword. So you have a World War II guy with a flaming claymore sword or broadsword fighting zombies in hell. I mean, how freaking amazing is that, right?
Yeah,
right.
The sculpts are really well done. The designs are great. It's a really well done, polished product. And for anyone that got to see it at Joe Fest, Chris Scott has the coolest booth. It looks like a horror blockbuster. It's the best. It's so well done. And they had just the booth was amazing. And so really, really proud and impressed with what Chris has put together here.
Yeah, really, really cool. And then there's another really cool character called Sergeant Spectre, and it's got like this translucent blue, like flame blue effect on the head. And just check it out. Go to the World War Hell Kickstarter and check it out because it is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Head over to Kickstarter. Just type that in the search bar. It pulls it right up. Not a whole lot of World War Hell themed products going around, so it's right there for you.
Definitely.
But Beta Ray Bob notes Sergeant Spectre for the win from World War Hell. 30 caliber machine gun with a chainsaw attached. It sounds like he's got his bases covered.
Yeah. And there's like some really fun storytelling that goes along with that too, where like, and I might get this a little bit wrong, but the team hauls around the machine gun, and then the Sergeant Spectre just sort of like appears when he feels like it because he haunts the machine gun, and so you never know when he's gonna like show up and just start wrecking stuff. So there's some really fun. He's got some really fun storytelling built into this whole,
That's pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's because I mean, like visually, it's just kind of fun to have all that, fighting demons and zombies with World War II guys. But Chris is really taking the storytelling, I think, to the next level.
It's like the Army of Dead in Lord of the Rings, where Theoden's like, "Where were you guys like 15 minutes ago?"
But as folks in the live chat, I'm not on Kickstarter. This is just a slide, so I cannot show you more images based on this one. So I took this shot about an hour before the show started. It was the last thing I added to the news. So
go check it out.
That pledge total is pretty close to what they're doing. I hope it's a couple of bucks more now, at least. Hopefully you're checking it out and you're adding a few more on top of it yourself. So again, head over to Kickstarter. Just punch World War Hell in the search. This will pull right up for you. Check it out. Next news item.
Oh, 86,000, by the way. 86,000 for World War Hell and counting.
And counting.
Yes. And going on right now. This started last week. It's going on through the 7th. So through what, Monday? Is that Monday is the 7th?
Yeah.
Yes, Monday's the 7th. Prop Store doing its G.I. Joe movies online auction. You get all kinds of cool props and costumes from the 3 live-action G.I. Joe movies. Whether you want to put them into protective cases or use them for target practice, whatever, however you feel about these movies and these props, they'll be yours. So make sure that you're heading over, checking out what they've got, placing your bids, and own a piece of G.I. Joe movie history.
I didn't know that was going on right now. I'm learning so much.
Right.
So have you guys checked it out? Like, what are the prices like? Were the prices expensive, or is
some of them got that way pretty quick? I haven't checked it out in a few days. Like, I think Friday I looked at it. So whatever I saw Friday is going to be totally different by now.
Sure.
But of course, like your super popular costumes, your Snake Eye stuff, your Baroness stuff was kind of leading the way. Again, I'll have to go check it out myself.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Do you know if they have like any like loose items, like cool swords or like cool props and stuff? Without the whole outfit,
What Storm Shadow item are you trying to get your hands on, Ben?
I mean, even if they just had like a shuriken or like like some weird I want to see VX gas, but that was like from The Rock, wasn't it, or something like in Rise of Cobra? Like, wasn't there? What was I don't know, what were some of the weapons and the stuff,
For everybody at home, Ben Conway is he's certainly the biggest Storm Shadow collector that I know. He's got some really rare, one of a kind stuff in his collection. Storm Shadow is his jam. So if you see any Storm Shadow items on there, try and get out of Ben Conway's way, because he'll bury you.
He'll bury I have to check it out. Actually, that's what I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is one of my sets of Storm Shadow collection where I've got every figure on this back wall is Storm Shadow. So it's version 1 all the way through in order, with filled in with some really cool test shots and prototypes, and even a couple of canceled figures. So it's a fun Storm Shadow display right behind me.
How many different entries are there, Ben?
There are 144 slots, I believe, on that, and
wow,
and they're actually all filled, except that I did get a nice gift from Pat Stewart a couple years ago that I still haven't put in. I didn't have room. But I've got a fellow Storm Shadow collector, Andrew Felsberg. Shout out to Andrew, who we actually help each other out instead of competing with each other. So I actually pulled something out of my case, sent it to Andrew quite a while ago. So I've got a little tidying up to do on the case. But it also takes a while, because if I've got a slot open down here now, I need to move every single figure over one slot, one figure at a time. So it's a little bit of a time commitment to do the adjustment, but it's fun.
Right. It's your personal mania. So
yeah.
I'm not look, I'm a guy sitting here. I got like 200 beachheads in a tub. So whatever, you do you, man. It's
Think of 200 beachheads though displayed beautifully on your wall, like in glorious acrylic. I bet you'd probably shed a little tear every time you walk by if you did that.
We'll get there someday.
Do you see the comment from Phil?
Phil says you can bid on a Kiko's Not Dead costume. That's good.
There you go.
That is, I maintain that is the comeback win of all time in G.I. Joe lore, is that somehow a Kiko got through that movie not dead.
The only thing that was killed were his chances of success.
Right. Answer here: we do not have any kind of guess to place on how long World War Hell figures are going to take to produce.
Yeah.
Maybe you should ask them. Just
I would go off of the I'm sure the Kickstarter has a projection of what they're expecting. I fully expect that they will get their fulfillment done in a much better time frame than what Skeletron's taken to get their Kickstarter done. If that's where you're going with that, then I would say,
correct.
Yeah, Chris is all over it.
He's on it.
He's on it.
Not saying we're not on it.
And hey, he's using a different factory than we are, so I can't make any kind of commitments. I'm just telling you that I believe Chris is going to get it done close to the time frame that he's projecting.
Yep.
Right. But and Skeletron is the worst.
Oh,
wait, I'm sorry, I blanked out there for a second. I forgot.
Shameful.
Another
show ruined.
It's I'm gonna go with Army of Darkness here. 18 months or less. I would take that. I would take that to the bank as much as you could take any of these toy Kickstarters to the bank, knowing that none of them have ever completely fulfilled on time.
Right. It's pretty rare, and it's tough to put a guess on these things. So just be cool. And again, this isn't the place. We don't represent those guys.
No, I mean, I can though. I'll tell you, 18 months, bam, or less.
Ben Conway is nothing but trouble.
Yeah, and I mean, take it
to the bank.
Take it from me because I have one of the least accurate projections of a Kickstarter for myself ever. So it's good. At it.
Yep.
Look, I have 2 flying skull thingies, and I got them before I forgot I ordered them. So I feel like you guys accomplished a lot.
Hey man, thanks. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And you love them too, right, Mike?
I do. They're fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
so
that's what's
great.
most important. You love it.
So
I am as in regards to getting stuff, I am notoriously easy to please. So the fact that it showed up and I hadn't forgotten about it means good job.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the low bar. I love the low bar.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Not sarcastically. Good job. You're like a 4-person company. You're not thousands of people across 4 continents like some of these, toy makers that we're used to buying G.I. Joes from. So yeah, I think the fact that some delays get thrown into these things and we just have to be more patient than we normally would, I think that goes without saying, and I don't think people always remember that.
Yeah, I think most people have remembered. Vast majority, actually, our Kickstarter backers have been awesome. Shout out to Doug. I just saw his comment on there too. Appreciate that sentiment because we're definitely, we definitely want to keep adding that even after the Kickstarter where it was crazy with the all in. We've everyone's been super patient and gracious, and we've been adding extra little bonuses along the way as we've been able to ship one phase at a time to get everybody their goods.
Yeah, we want to show everyone, we appreciate their patience, and we want to throw on some little rewards there, Well,
we appreciate that, man. And while you're checking out Prop Store, had to go back and get the name of the site because it's that kind of a day. I've been up and working since 6. Anyways, this week, Joe on Joe podcast, our good friend Joe Slepsky dropped an episode with Chuck Costa of propstore.com. He is doing the You on Joe format, where Chuck talks about what got him into G.I. Joe and what made him a fan. But they do spend a lot of time talking about the prop store auctions that are open now. So if you have any more questions, go check out our friend Joe on Joe podcast. Stream it wherever you get your podcasts. It is audio only. They do have a YouTube channel that is synced up to our page below, but it's just the audio playing over a logo. So you're not missing anything. Audio only. Phil Donnelly wants to know, where's my stuff, man?
It's in the mail, Phil.
But that's okay because we oftentimes kick Phil off the show. But next news item. Hey, pre-orders are open now for the new Iron Studios Art Scale 1/10 Destro. He looks pretty cool. These guys have made cool-looking statues. If you're into Statues, Iron Studios are as good as anybody else's. I've seen them on Big Bad Toy Store. I know that they sell them through their own site. $199.99 seems to be the damage. It's going to include a $40 non-refundable deposit if you buy it from Iron Studios. Some of the other places adjust that a little bit, depending on whatever they want to do. So our figures come from the Iron Studios website. It is expected early next year. But they've done a real cool looking Flint. They've done a Cobra Commander. And now we're getting Destro here in 2025, and he looks really good, just like the rest of them do.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's awesome. I just don't do statues, but
right,
looks cool.
I don't have enough space for my moving statues, let alone ones that don't.
I'm holding out for Storm Shadow.
Oh, they never make him.
Of course you are. Next news item. Oh, hey, by the way, this happened. It's the end of Yojo June, and we've tagged it with, come on, it's July. We're tired. Take a moment of silence here for the world's laziest thumbnail. But June has been that kind of a month that I just had to quickly recycle, and then it became a running gag. So everybody who's tired of the current thumbnail that I've used the last 5 weeks and ready for me to go back to my normal slapdash amateur thumbnail building, you're in luck.
Our long national nightmares at last over.
Something like that. JLS Comics says, maybe if you didn't have 800 beachheads, you'd have room for more statues. Why would I want statues instead of beachheads? That's nuts. I can play with beachheads. I can't do much with statues. Firefly says, this will be funny when you pull this out in December. Yeah, it could be that way, man. It might work out that way. It is entirely possible.
You know how glitchy this thing gets.
Right. But anyways, Monday, we got the last of the Hasbro Pulse live streams for Yojo June. Monday was, of course, the 30th of June, so they were not lying to us. I'm just embellishing. And it was a one item party. As promised, we got to see the HasLab 2025 project for G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe Snowcat. And we got a nice shot of everything that it includes right there. Gentlemen, your first impressions. What were you thinking when they announced the Snowcat, or I guess when they teased the Snowcat at the beginning of the month versus when you actually got to see it on Monday?
I thought it looked pretty cool. So I backed it immediately, but to be honest, like I didn't even like scroll through. I haven't like soaked it up. Like I just like went in. I was kind of preoccupied. It was like Snowcat's up. I heard somebody told me, so I went. I backed it, and then I was gonna like, circle back and kind of check it out later. So, but it looks. I heard it's huge too. Like I didn't watch it on the live stream, but they put it, next to the HISS tank, and it's massive.
Yeah,
it is.
I would say,
yeah,
it's longer and wider
with their other HasLabs, right? Where you're coming with a figure, and then you're gonna unlock a couple more figures. People love the figures, like Andrew just said. Thank the gods, no patches. So, so I think they're learning some things. Although that Snowcat would be a cool patch.
Right. I mean, I hope we didn't break Ben's heart. I know he hadn't really looked through it yet. I hope he wasn't planning on patches, Mark. It's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is huge though. Like when we're looking at the video, I didn't think it was going to be quite that large. That's what she said.
Right.
But it is, I like what they're doing with it. I like, obviously play feature is an important thing, right? And so even, when we're working on our project, it's like how much different articulation or different things can we build into it? And I like that they've thought about that. I like that there's, I like how the windshield opens, right? It's kind of clever, the two different ways that opens. The light up features, some people love it. Some people, could take it or leave it. I think it looks cool.
Right.
I just think that I think they've done a really nice job with it.
Right. Look, if I'm going to get a short run, high ticket item, I mean, it better have headlights. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
So I'm all about lights. But it's not like they would drop the price $100 on a HasLab by taking them out. So might as well be in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Snowcat's massive. I do not understand the rhetoric that was flying around all month that people didn't think that the Snowcat would be worth the value. Like if you go back to 1985, you look at your old Snowcat and put it next to your 1983 Hiss. It's bigger than the Hiss tank then. It's certainly right. It's longer and it's wider. So I don't understand these the Snowcat isn't a big enough vehicle arguments that people were tirades that they were on all month long.
I think it's nice to have a Joe vehicle that goes toe to toe with the Hiss tank, and it is that size,
Yeah.
They said the Hiss wasn't big enough, and well, you know what? They made it big enough.
Right.
So you had to figure they were going to make this big enough.
Right. I mean, this is like adopting a real cat as big as it is.
Even a free cat will cost you more in the end than the Snowcat. Let me tell you what.
Right. Oh, I mean, that just goes without saying. That's a chubby boy. We got him his own cardboard tank.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And it's going to be interesting. I just saw the comments. They're over 6,000 now on the backers, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And the funding goal, the baseline is it 8? Is that what it was to get
8,000 is baseline. We'll get into that right here.
So it's real fun.
So the campaign runs through August 14th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. It'll set you back $325, and that is collected at the close of the campaign before anybody asks 18 times in the live chat. Collect it at the end of the campaign. So if you pledge tonight, they're not going to take your money for over a month.
For 43 days.
Right. Includes Frostbite, the driver. This is the baseline offering, like you see on the screen. It's got ski torpedoes with storage crates. And those ski torpedoes, you can separate them from the little snowboard. And your figures can ride the snowboard. And that's awesome. It's got missiles with blast effects. It's got a removable missile launcher system. The back converts to a troop carrying space. It's got realistic engine details. It's got a pull-out cooking station, adjustable cockpit controls. When you're setting Frostbite into the driver's seat, you can move the control stick out of his way and then put it back so you're not stretching his arms and putting his arms in all funky positions to get his hands back on the controls. It's got an opening cockpit and side windows. Like Mark said, they open a couple of different ways for different posability features. Working headlights and light up dash details. It's got working rear treads, and those treads have they'll tilt and adjust to terrain. They're not just static on there like they were back in the day. The gunny does note one drawback: no oven to bake with.
You slide those into the back of the engine block. So.
Right. You just put the biscuit dough on the cookie sheet and put that on the engine, and you're good.
Makes sense.
Diana Davis notes that Snowcat is so awesome it purrs when you give it head scritches. That's how they go, man. That is baseline for these things. But E-Worthy with a great question. Do you think people will lose their shit if it doesn't hit the Flint tier? Yeah, of course they will. Because people lose because people lose their people lose their shit over everything.
What's the level it has to hit to unlock everything?
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay, you got it. You got it queued up.
We'll get there. We got.
Slow down, man.
It's all right. Ben he's an active listener.
Eager.
He's got questions. He's got to know.
Tell me more.
Give us answers, Mike.
Like if he wasn't on What's on Joe Mind, he'd be watching What's on Joe Mind.
That's right. One or the other. Wednesday nights.
It doesn't hurt, right? You don't have to be crazy, but it helps. Anyways, moving forward, we got a better look at Frostbite and the digital render there. You can see he's got a different head It's got the extra head has a wool cap on, and it's got that communication headset. He comes with a sidearm. He comes with his familiar M16 with the big ass scope. He's got a couple of different goggles. One I think is larger to fit over the top of his hat, and then the smaller one is to fit over his eyes.
Yeah.
And then he's got a thermos. Coffee is a theme. Coffee is a theme in this set. So enjoy that. We get I couldn't think of what else to highlight with that second picture, so I went with working headlights and dash lights.
There you go.
But just a good front shot of the Snowcat there, so you get a better look at it front and center there. Andrew Guggen needs a half dozen of those M16s. Well, maybe.
Yeah, well.
They'll let you buy 5.
Yeah.
And
some expensive M16s.
Right. 320.
That's 5 per account. So,
yeah.
I mean, you can go more.
Right. 325 per M16 right there. It's a bargain at twice the price. Oh goodness. Anyways, we also have a nice side view there, so you can see it from the side. There's those pivoting treads I was talking about. You can see the front half there on the half track popped up, but those treads are still flat on the ground. That's certainly a nice play feature if you're rolling over some terrain. You know, if you're in the living room, that cat's going to get out of your way because you'll just roll right over him.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, you've been mad at the cat lately, right? He doesn't know what I'm just throwing shit at you to make sure you're awake. Michael Gene Fleming hates to bail, but demand to fall asleep at work the day before a holiday, so he's going to go on to bed. Well, you be that way, man. I say no better day to fall asleep at work than the day before a holiday. So I'll be up until 4 or 5 this morning.
I think it's awesome he's at work and watching, but the problem is he's going to fall asleep watching us at work.
Yeah.
Right.
Not sure how to take that.
Yeah.
But have a good night, Gene. We appreciate you. Joe ARH says Thermos isn't actually a Thermos brand. Where's my keyboard? Caps lock engaged. Okay. Perhaps we can interest you in a nice Yeti.
I wanted it to be the old green Stanley one. The old green Stanley Thermos. Do you remember those?
Like the 70s one.
Yeah, my dad had one of those. Yeah. If it was green, it would be way better. But.
You can still hear the ice in there. It's been in there for 3 weeks.
Well, now I'm thinking about Thermos though. Is he trying to say like is Thermos still? Can you not like is Kleenex? You know, is not trademark because it became, you know, everything was clean. Every tissue became Kleenex. So like, is Thermos like Kleenex or is Thermos still like?
Can't call it
a registered trademark branded thing.
Their logo is probably registered, but they probably don't have any claim over the name Thermos anymore. I imagine
my daughter calls her Hydroflask Stanley. It's like no.
Oh, she's calling everything a Stanley.
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's the Stanley is the new Thermos, I guess.
That's a shame.
Hey, Joe ARH says, yes, Old Faithful, you'd burn your mouth on last Tuesday's soup. Phil Donnelly's holding out on pledging till they add the Tiger Force Tiger Cat tier.
Don't encourage people, Phil.
Right? You can't say stuff like that, Phil. They're going to believe you.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I can't believe it. But not the Tiger Force.
Don't give these people a cause, Phil.
Oh, Phil. Although you know, we have had a couple of vehicles these last 2 years that did get Tiger Force repaints. So, yeah,
I don't think this one is.
I don't think the Dragonfly's happening either. But sure,
yeah,
because that's what we all need is another one of those things taking up space.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure there's a Crimson Hiss floating down the line too.
It's the Hiss 3, man. It's blue.
Yeah.
Anyways,
a crappy gold rattler.
But as you can see there, we've got some dimensions on it. It is 21 inches long. It is 10 inches tall. It is 10 and a half inches wide. Snowcat's big. Yeah. It's not small.
No.
Points if you got that one. And you can see the removable missile system there, revealing the troop carrier in the back. Granted, the troop carrier is kind of bare bones, but it's still kind of neat that it's got there. It's got a couple of benches in there. You can't really tell from our pictures because we're so far out, but those benches have room for weapons storage. So that's another neat feature on this bad boy. Somebody asked the question before. I won't go back to it because it's too far up. But I don't think that missile system stands on its own. I think it has to be mounted in the vehicle. But
they did say they were working on how to get that out. So maybe at some point, but as of right now, we can't say yet.
Right. So lots of options. I love the extra playability that you're getting with this Snowcat. They've added a real adventure team element to this. And we'll see more of that as we get into the unlocks and stretch goals. So and then we get to see here, we got that pull-out mess station. Pulls right out of the side of the Snowcat. You can see there's a little sink and a little area for a stove, which we'll come back to. Tray. Or is it an ice tray? Okay,
it's an ice tray. Yeah, basically it's where they can put the fish.
Okay, and then on the other side you see the engine bay. It's got some tools. The side that we can't see has got a wrench, and then we've got like a more of a lug wrench on the side that we can see, and some really cool engine detail in there. It's got that light in the back too, so just lots of great little extras on this. It's really fun. I was not once we got past the Dragonfly last year. I know I had the sentiments of a lot of folks in that the feeling was, where am I going to put anything else? Like we finally reached the point. I'm just maxed out on space. I can't do this. And now I sit here and I see this project roll through, and I am figuring out what other junk I can get rid of to make room for a Snowcat. And I don't mean like can I get a smaller bed and make room for 2 Snowcats? You know, that sort of thing. Like I have an irrational love of this Snowcat. Nowhere Manchild says that's where the frozen fudgy bars are getting stored. Good plan.
Good call.
It just sit right in there. Why do you need a freezer on a vehicle built to travel in the Arctic? I don't know, but there it is for you.
Doug had an interesting comment. His last comment there, if you want to, I think it's intriguing about the hiss.
Doug Dello says they're going to release a snow hiss now. Well, I mean, I wouldn't count on it, but
yeah, that'd be cool though.
It'd be great.
When did they do the one? They had the Arctic hiss, and it had like the red Stinger missiles on top of it. That one was really cool.
Yeah, that was late 25th anniversary. So, but that like it vehicle variants like that are always fun. But I just think we're just on the wrong scale for them necessarily.
So who's the Snowcat? I mean, that's the thing that they went with the Arctic theme, though, right? So what's so we kind of, I mean,
are you jumping?
Feels like it needs something to fight Arctic.
I mean, they're not going to not roll a hiss tank out just because it's cold. So
that's true.
Forget the fact that it's painted white, man. This is a good general use half track vehicle. Whether you're in Arctic conditions or otherwise. I mean, if it really bothers you that much, buy 2, paint 1 green. Right?
Maybe I will.
Right? I mean, I know that you're going to get one of these just because it matches Storm Shadow, and he's going to drive around it.
Storm Shadow's.
I'm going to put some Arashikage decals right across the front. It'll be like Battle Kata, Storm Shadow Ninja Snowcat.
You have Storm Shadow up front, and then you could put some of your Street Fighter figures in the back.
Hey, that sounds cool.
Oh, goodness. If we get to 10,000 pledges, the first unlock is Lady J in her Arctic gear. She includes javelins and a quiver, and she's got all of her cool, gimmicky sunbow javelins. They went heavy sunbow on the unlocks.
I love it.
She too has an extra head with a wool cap and headset. She's got a fishing pole and then an extra line. She's got an ice borer, and she's got coffee.
More coffee.
Those are much better. I mean, that looks like a better head sculpt on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Previous ones.
I thought her last one was pretty good too, with the swappable, with the cap and the.
This one's better.
Better yet.
I think so. I mean, I haven't seen it in person, but like from the render, it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
Right.
I think this figure looks really nice. I love the jacket.
Yeah.
So I think it looks great.
The coffee's great.
Right. Again, it's something of a theme. I get to take some partial credit on this. When we were trying to guess what the stretch goals were, I had Arctic Lady J, so I'm calling a win for myself on that one.
I do like Yorktown Joe's idea for a DNR agent. Feels like that's really missing in the line. Is a DNR agent. Although I think he's probably a villain. So.
Yeah, he's gonna come confiscate your truck.
Exactly. License and registration, please. Do you have your trout stamp?
You got a fishing license?
Trout stamp. Hockey Town Arcade asks, did the Sky Striker HasLab hit all its stretch goals? No, it did not.
Missed
If
the
you'll
last
remember,
one.
yeah, Ketchup and Mustard, the two flight crew guys were that last stretch goal, and they did not get made.
But they did do the Cobra takeover and added a bunch of stuff, right? Wasn't
That was not the
did?
original plan.
Yeah, which was nice. That was a good. They gave it the oomph it needed.
Yep.
Right, but Falcone got you covered on Ketchup and Mustard, and you even got Relish, and in the Navy with Heavy Armor Toys, they got you taken care of. That's good stuff right there. Anyways, so that's 10,000 for Lady J. She looks like she'll be pretty well a certainty at this point. I know 6,000 is not the meteoric jump in pledges after 3 days that we've seen with some of the other Joe HasLabs to this point, but it's not a bad start either. So I think 10,000 is pretty comfortably in the bag. If we move up to 12, the Bivouac battle station is there. It is Arctic themed. It does have a cloth lean-to cover. Not a hard plastic one at a 45-degree angle like that one from 1984. It does have that rocket propelled grenade launcher there. It's got a folding cot. They said it's similar to the mechanics of Doc's stretcher from earlier in the classified line. Got the shovel, axe, and machete with the tool rack. It's got a radio with a handset. It's got a camp stove there with a fire effect in it. It's got a fire pit, and it's got fishies. Who doesn't love some fishies?
It's got everything I would want and a little bit more.
Yeah.
The Bivouac was not the thing I was expecting to come popping out of this on C2, and I like it.
Yeah, it's cool.
The accessories are fun. Little campfire and
This is a good idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea, and we have to give credit to Lenny on this one, from what I understand. I feel like I almost feel like I have to apologize to the folks that that kept saying, well, it'll probably come with a smaller vehicle, and it didn't do that, but it did come with a small playset, so I guess it kind of did. So
one of the old battle stations.
Yeah.
I think it's great, and I agree. Lenny's doing it. Lenny and that team are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. But Joe ARH says it's Arctic Flint with bonus Snowcat and Bivouac.
So we're halfway there. It's already halfway there. Halfway there.
325 for Bivouac is a bit steep, but those stretch goals and throwing in a Snowcat in 3 figures, so maybe. Yeah, good. See, it's a good way to think of it. But here too, there's a long way to go on this. I know we tend to panic about the totals on these HasLabs well before it's time to panic about the totals on HasLabs.
This one seems to be trending more just on the normal level of a HasLab. If you've ever paid attention to the other ones, the Joe ones are weird in the fact that they go hot. They normally go hot and heavy right out the gate, and then you've got a good month of no drama at all. But this is lining up with all the other like HasLabs that I've seen that don't fund immediately, but they truck along. They fill out the 45 days. They end up with all their stretch goals unlocked, and everybody's happy.
The voice of reason.
I know I should stop that.
Yeah. Andrew Dowd knows that the bivouac is better than patches.
Oh yeah.
So Rob, do you also like have you compared like different HasLabs and like the timing of when they were released in the year? Because like, don't you like? I wonder if like, okay, we're going into 4th of July weekend. Maybe there's just less eyeballs locked in than there would be in a different time of the year.
No, I think. I mean, people are pretty used to Joe HasLabs being at this time of year. I mean, last year's was a little bit later because they did it at at San Diego. So I think this one's probably maybe a little bit later than the first two because they always like launched Jojo June with this. But I think it's still clear of like what would be happening at San Diego Comic-Con, and things like that. So I think this thing's okay. I mean, there's no reason to worry about this. It's definitely going to hit the 8,000 for Pete's sakes.
Yeah, that's all.
It should do that by this weekend,
Right. And that was the point I was going to make too. I think it matters more that they showed this on a Monday. I think there's several thousand folks that are going to wind up pledging this that haven't even watched the video yet, because it happened on Monday and it happened on a short week before a holiday. And so if they're anything like me this week, they're getting their doors blown off at work. As everybody tries to get everything into 3 days that they normally try to get into 5. And so this is the furthest thing from their mind. So I do think that there's going to be a fairly steady climb through this weekend as people actually get the chance to relax and see what they're being asked to spend $325 on.
I like that analysis.
Hard hitting.
Yeah, I haven't. There hasn't been a time where I haven't checked in on this where it hasn't bumped up a couple hundred. So it's like,
right. Yeah, it'll get there. I'm not worried at all about 12,000. I think this is going to happen. And then we get to stretch goal number 3. Arctic Flint unlocks at 14,000 pledges. And he's got more stuff. He's got a pistol with his holster. He's got his familiar shotgun. He's got his cool Sunbow laser rifle. He's got an extra head, again, with a wool hat and communications headset. He's got a coffee pot, because that's what we do here. And he's also got a cup of coffee. He's got a frying pan with eggs in it, which is fantastic. He's got skewers, and he's got weenies! When the Joes are out in the Snowcat on Arctic missions, they eat good. They eat as good as you possibly can.
Well, yeah, at least they had the sense to have the fire pit, fun before the pan and the weenies, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Right. The skewers also work on the fish, so there's some backwards compatibility there. It was kind of cool to see him playing with that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things in these HasLab videos is watching the team play with the prototype, because they clearly want to play with the prototype. But they also have to be
careful not to break it.
Right. They also have to try not to break the prototype, and it's all on film. It's all on camera. So it's a unique level of stress that I enjoy watching. But Mark, Ben, what do you guys think of Flint here?
I think Flint looks pretty cool. I think the most interesting thing to me is this is the only HasLab review that's making me a little bit hungry. You had
me at weenies.
Stop by, get some Johnsonville brats, and
Nope, the accessories are fun.
Yeah,
They're
it's fun.
good.
It's very fun play set. And I think what is going to be super fun about this is we have so many great toy photographers now that are posting stuff up on, all over the internet, and you can just sort of envision like some really fun, campsite scenes and great, great storytelling, great fun photography that I think all those guys are going to have a blast with this stuff.
For sure.
Right. E-worthy notes that poor Tony looked so nervous during the stream as he had just finished the tooling on a few things. Yeah, he remarked he still had the glue on his hands from some of the things he was putting together, the epoxy on his hands. So he didn't shake anybody's hands or anything when he showed up. He was still kind of gross. But Joe ARH says Roadblock is side-eyeing this whole thing hard. Look, man, you can give your frying pan to Roadblock. He can cook eggs if it'll work out. It'll be okay. It's Roadblock, man. He doesn't want no heavy coat.
Oh, does Travis just join us? Travis Moody?
Looks like it. Looks like a toy kind of mood in the house tonight. So welcome, Travis. Good to see you, man. What up? So Ben Conway, you're a toy manufacturer. What's your give us your final thoughts now that we've taken a walk through the Snowcat and what's available?
Yeah, now that you've gotten the full kind of the full walkthrough on what's on Joe Mind, I think it's really great. I think that the vehicle itself has a lot of that, like you guys were pointing out, a lot of kind of fun extra features. And I have to say that my favorite thing about it, though, is all the unexpected add-ons that come with the figures. Because like I just said, I think it's going to be so much fun to see, toy photographers are going to have a blast with it. And then even if you're not a toy photographer, you're going to, I hope, it at least sets up one little breakfast, before you set up, before you start shooting cobras, right? Exactly. We're all going to have, we're going to have a little, it takes us back to maybe a little bit more of like when we're kids, and we're going to have to set up a little play scene or two just to really enjoy the accessories that come with this. So
and Army runs on its stomach.
I think it's really creative. I think it's super fun. And I think it's just the right kind of thing for, something like this where it's a HasLab and, we're 100, 200 figures deep in this line. And the design team's still keeping it fresh and doing fun stuff that puts a smile on her face. So yeah, I think they're killing it. Well done, classified team.
You can also tell that Flint and Lady J did not get their coffee at Starbucks. Otherwise, those cups would say Frank and Janie.
Right.
Yeah.
Smog17 says, I ain't going to back the Snowcat. I need to save up money for a Robo Skull with the Robo Knight armor.
That's good.
So, okay,
this is the perfect vehicle for a Robo Skull to completely obliterate it. So
yeah. And as much as I want everybody to back that Snowcat, I think that, Smog17 is, he's on track, man. I can't.
Right. If the Snowcat doesn't float your boat, he's at least got a good backup project picked out.
Yeah.
Marco Byrne, as a gentleman who makes toys, how about you? You got anything to add to what Ben said?
No, I mean, he pretty much touched on it. I mean, we're always looking for, fun play features and things like that. I love what they're doing with the accessories. I think it's so much fun. I don't really see a lot of complaints on this thing. I think the value's there. Again, assuming all of the, they hit all the tiers, I'm going to say that the value's there. It's right on par with the other HasLabs that they've run. So I don't know. This one kind of excites me. I always liked the Snowcat. I thought it was a fun vehicle. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I always felt the Snowcat was something of a missed opportunity until the club figured it out and put out the green one. Like the Snowcat was always this great multi-purpose vehicle hiding in plain sight that never got put to multi-purpose until very late in the run and almost in an obscure set of circumstances.
Sorry, I think that just coming back to like the figures themselves, I think my only complaint, like especially on this Flint figure, I'd like to see him in white. I don't know that, and again, I don't know if this comes back to the Sunbow cartoon and everything, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that they gave up on trying to reinvent the wheel and just said, let's make him look like he looks on the cartoon when he puts it.
Yeah.
Toy Kind of Mood chiming in with the strange complaints I've seen are come from people that don't want it because it's a snow vehicle. Many are missing the term all terrain. I agree on that, Travis.
Well, then I guess that answers my question on the outfit, right?
Yeah,
So.
like the weird complaints this time. Like, so on every other one, the loudest complaint always came from the money that was being spent, and I really haven't seen that this time. The complaints that I've seen are more the aesthetic choice of like somehow the Snowcat jumped in line ahead of a vehicle that somebody thinks is more important or deserves to be, it's, and I use these terms in quotes, of course, deserves to be in the line before the Snowcat does, because nobody cares about the Snowcat, blah, blah, blah. Where's my Mauler? Where's this? I think people just had their heart set for 12 months on what they wanted this to be, that we're still so early in the process that they haven't accepted what it is and how great it is.
I would also say, I mean, let's face it, the vehicles that I've heard are vehicles you're probably never gonna see, just simply because they're going to be enormous or cost prohibitive.
Right.
A Moray, a hovercraft. Come on.
Well, even a Mobat or a Mauler, right?
Yeah.
Like
I was kind of convinced that how big is this thing going to? I was thinking, are they going to do a tank? Because they did, what is it going to look? How big is this thing going to be? Are they going to create something brand new?
Right.
Yeah. Is that so? What are the things that people are saying that they want? Because, I mean, for me, it would be the whale, but it would be ridiculously sized. I mean, it would be so massive. It's like it can't fit on a shelf, right? Like it's you have to build a coffee table for it or something.
Yeah, it would be a coffee table. I've seen everything. Like the whale, the moray. To like people. Oh, why don't you do a flag? Well, you don't have any planes to put on it, for one thing. And number two, do you want a 12-foot flag? Where are you putting a 12-foot thing?
Right. I've seen a lot of like the usual suspects coming into this, where folks thought maybe a Mauler because it was alluded to with the Rattler last year.
Yeah.
Maybe a Thunder Machine because of Cold Sled. I thought it was going to be a Thunder Machine too.
Oh, Thunder Machine! Thunder Machine, sick. Okay, I'm on board with the Thunder. I'm jumping on the Thunder Machine bandwagon.
Yeah,
Lenny. Right. I know Lenny will do a Thunder Machine. That's got to be next. That'd be sweet.
I think that's next. A lot of people are going, well, they've done land, they've done air, they got to do sea. I'm like, you can't do sea.
Right.
unless you're going to make the 2-seater shark.
Right. I could see doing a devilfish or something.
But a devilfish isn't big enough to be a HasLab, right? Like a devilfish.
No. Right. A devilfish would be in the same class as like a vamp or something.
Yeah. I want a fang. If we're not talking HasLabs,
I want a shark.
Where's my fang?
Shark, fang. Those are both cool.
See, Mark, you got to talk to Mark Gerwig. He'll set you up with a shark.
Yeah. Oh, he does custom ones? No.
He built, it's even, we have it in a short on our channel if you check it out. He built a classified size 2-seater shark like they have in the cartoon. And it's a mammoth.
Yeah, it's enormous.
Machine. It's like it took up the entire camera when he swung it all around on his desk.
It's an end table.
That shouldn't have to be. The shark shouldn't have to be. That doesn't scale up that large.
I mean, it's not that big, but you get what we're saying. Yeah.
But it does if you make it seat 2 of the figures like they did on the cartoon.
Right. When you configure it like Sunbow had it, where it was like a small craft with chairs instead of this weird sled that Deep Six slid into and nobody else could fly. Then yeah, it comes up a little taller and a little bigger, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, look at that when we get done. That'll help you out there. But yeah, so those are the complaints that we're seeing there, and I just I get not getting your first choice. There's going to be some disappointment there, but let's not just crap on something because it's not. I mean, this is awesome. This is a great set.
It is. It's a great set.
I'm fired up for this one. I'm ready on this one. I'm gonna clear out some space. I got to get rid of somebody else's toys, not Skeletron toys, but somebody's toys, and make room for a Snowcat. As you can see, the little sweat beads forming. He's gonna sell us out on a show we're guesting on. That bastard. Anyways. Do I? Oh no! I got a next news item.
Let's do it.
Yeah, head over to Hasbro Pulse. They've got all the details there, or you can find the Hasbro Pulse YouTube channel and watch the video if you haven't already. Get all the details there, or just what would be really cool is just rewinding and watching us again.
Looks like a cool cover.
Right, from Skybound this week.
Today.
I've lost control of the show. Anyways, G.I. Joe Real American Hero 318 on tap. Ben's in because Storm Shadow's on the cover. But written by the legend Larry Hama, pencils by Paul Pelletier, inks by Tony Cordos, and colors by Eisner-nominated Francesco Segala. That is available today. I know Racktime Rob's read his. I have not read mine, so I'm not going to talk about it, but because I got nothing to say. But anyways, the undercover mission in Springfield goes on, and this is Dawn and Storm Shadow checking out the sewers because that's their gig. They're the night team. They're the ones that get their hands dirty. You'll like it, Ben. You should pick up the comic.
Yeah.
Jay Doran says the Skeletron Robotrek team is awesome. I met some of them in Kodem, Iowa. Did you meet Ben Conway and Marco Byrne?
Thanks, Jay.
Funny story. They're on the show tonight.
And we were there. Codename Iowa was assembly required. So it's good to meet you, Jay Duran.
Come back this year.
Right? Make the trip. Nobody talks about meeting me at Assembly Required. I was there.
Oh, yes, they do, Mike. They talk about it all the time.
I had a table. There were people. Funny story. We actually did. There was a medical supply convention going on in one of the other conference rooms, and some of those folks came over during their breaks. And so I got all kinds of, I swapped out our clicky pens. I got all kinds of medical company pens from random medical supply places in Iowa.
Oh, that's funny. I thought you said pens. I thought you were going to say you got random medical devices to take home and try out.
No, I did get just like the random 4-imprint swag kind of stuff. I did get a wool cap.
He came home with a dialysis machine. I don't know what it's for.
Right. But a company that makes catheter tubes, I have a wool cap from them. So anyways.
From the catheter people.
Catheter
Come to us for your catheter needs.
Iowa Catheter gets to advertise on my forehead when it gets cold.
I feel like they could have been more clever than Iowa Catheter, but
Well,
they're in Iowa. They make catheters. Why?
I guess so. They nailed it.
Right?
Usually don't get too spicy with the medical device names, Mark.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Sometimes you just want to be upfront about those things. Sometimes you don't want to have any guesswork.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I think I got to give a shout out. We got Smog 17. I think I know who that is now. Is that Isaiah? Is that who's logged in here?
I don't know.
Shout out.
But he loved seeing the Skeletron crew at Joe Fest. met his idols and got a real neat hat.
Cool, man.
You gave me one of those. Unfortunately I had to give the hat away because it didn't fit. So I gave it to a kid.
I nailed it. That's Isaiah. What's up? Yep, do. Good to see you. Glad to meet you at Joe Fest, Isaiah. Appreciate your enthusiasm and support. You're awesome.
One pouch man says I can wear my catheter wool cap while playing with my HasLab Snowcat. You bet I will, sir. You bet I will.
No, that was an accessory that, maybe in 5 or 10 more years we'll be more interested in, those some new medical device accessories with the HasLabs.
Yeah.
I'll make one of those logos and just pop it on Flint and Lady J's wool caps. They'll be right there with me. Doug Dello notes that I have a rather large head. Look, man, I'm a big dude, so yeah. I got a rather large everything. Hey. But also from Skybound next week on the 9th, we get Transformers 22, followed by Energon Universe G.I. Joe number 9 on the 16th, as the Baroness and CoverGirl's exploits continue in Paris.
You need the comment from Yorktown Joe up.
It moved on me, but here we go. He got an insulin pump, but he loaded it with Dr. Pepper. Mileage and A1C may vary. Hey, Team Skeletron. Toyamic Displays just says, hey, Ben and Mark, I just placed another order with y'all.
Hey.
So there you go.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
They can't wait to get that order sent out to Ewans.
There's doing the transpiring.
Right? I couldn't resist the urge to throw a Ewans in there. Oh my God. So next news item.
There's still catheter jokes running and
well, come on.
I mean, you guys, you don't even want to know. Like we're in Rochester, Minnesota, home of the Mayo Clinic, and I've got a lot of medical device knowledge too. I could be dropping all kinds of deep cuts on catheters.
We won't go further down that.
Catheters, butt plugs. I got material here, but I'm holding it.
Ben's got connections.
So you guys want to run some more catheter jokes? Hit me up down in Iowa at the bar. We can run with that
all night long.
Good audience, right? Good audience for it.
Think of new names for Iowa catheter.
Work on some branding. We're gonna have a blast.
This is from our Tinkler line.
Holidays coming up, so the What's on Joe Mind swag shop having another sale over at TeePublic. 35% off on tees and enjoy deep discounts on everything else on the site. That's sweatshirts, mugs, magnets, stickers, caps, and more. Be sure to get yourself all swagged up for when you come see us. Yeah, assembly required in Iowa this November, even though I know you probably won't. I have
Gun Bunny Customs.
Where we got there? Gun Buddy Customs, Skeletron. I'm currently custom painting a RoboSkull I picked up last weekend at DFW. There you go.
That's awesome.
Man.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm excited to see that. And thanks for going to DFW too. We big shout out to Troy McKee and John Kukovic, who represented us at their call sign long booth, Grindstone Toys booth at DFW, because we did not personally attend the show, but they were showing off our merch and moving some product. So thanks to those guys, and thanks Gun Bunny for grabbing a RoboSkull at the show. That's awesome.
I can't wait to see what the custom looks like.
Yeah, and for real, we got to see that. So Gun Buddy, I don't know if you've got a Instagram you're going to post it up or where it's going to be. Definitely put it into the Facebook Skeletron Secret Lab group, or make sure you tag us in Instagram when you put that up, because we got to see that.
Or you could send it to us at whatsonjoemind@gmail.com, because you guys watch every week, right?
Yeah, we could debut it there.
Liars!
in our brand new What's on Joe Mind t-shirts that we just got at 35% off this week.
He's continuing to give good-natured, earnest plugs, even though I just called him a liar. Toyomic Display says, I'm Southern, Mike. Y'all just have to accept. Look, I accept it. I went to college in the Boot Heel of Missouri. I get Southern slang. I just love the term Ewans because it's second person plural, and then you can even do a plural of the second person plural. In that, if you have two groups of Ewans, it becomes Ewanses.
Well, then it becomes Dallas and Knots Landing.
I'm just saying, a Ewans plus a Ewans is a Ewanses, and this all makes sense to them down there, and I find this endearing and fascinating. Oh, God, I've lost my mind. And that's it. That's all we got for the news. Chunky Tank Kitty and his Meowler Tank are brought to you proudly by the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast. Be sure to check them out. Mark Gerwig, Mike Kleppinger, Artoine Pare are your hosts. They have lots of knowledge to give you. They might show off a 2-seater shark just for Marco Byrne, who knows? But they generally roll on Sundays, so be sure to check them out. We do have their channel attached to our channel page. Be sure to check them out. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're advanced, whatever your level, they've got a show for you. You're going to learn something every time you watch the program, without question. And that's the news. All right, we'll be right back after a quick word from our wonderful friends and sponsors at Kokomo Toys.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
Get your geek on.
That's right.
Oh,
Get the word straight from the mayor.
That's right.
But gentlemen, a couple weekends ago was Joe Fest down in scenic Augusta, Georgia, home of my favorite fast food restaurant that we don't have around here, the Cookout. Because who else is going to sell you a corn dog a la carte? Nobody is what I'm saying. Anyways, perhaps my focus is off. But you guys had some new product on your own that you debuted at Joe Fest. Had your own panel and everything, man. Why don't you talk some about what was going on there?
Well, so we showed a couple of new things, and we actually weren't intending to originally, but then we heard from Ed Schumacher to he wanted to do a special celebration of life to honor Aaron Dietrich of Roma Collectibles, and which we've already done. We did one of those, I know already, Mike, back a few months back in right. Ohio. But he wanted to get everybody together at Joe Fest and to honor Aaron, which of course was great that he wanted to put on a special event for that. And then we thought that it would be the appropriate, because of one of the projects we've been working on, we thought that felt like the appropriate place to talk about the project, which was first conceived by Chris Scott over at Grindhouse Toys, World War Hell guy.
So much grinding going on.
So much grinding. And which was when Aaron when we all found out Aaron was sick, right away, there was just a coalescence of people coming together to say, what can we do? How can we support? And a lot of people supported Aaron. And we had that at AR. There was a really great fundraiser of customs, and there's been so many things that people have been designing T-shirts and donating the money. Like again, Brian Sauer, and the project we were involved with was to make an Aaron action figure And so we put that together. We've been working on it, and it was really cool because we let Aaron in on it. We told him what we were working on, and when he was going through his treatments, we had a group chat, and he would poke us and be like, "Hey guys, give me a little hit, give me a little taste." And so we sort of teased out what we were working on, which was really great. And of course the plan is that this was going to boost his spirits, and we were going to help him get through his cancer treatments, and we were going to get an action figure of him, that he could enjoy after he recovered. But sadly that didn't happen, and Aaron passed. So as part of that celebration of life and honoring his memory, we revealed what you see on the screen here, which is Yeti. And it is our Arctic specialist, weapons supplier, and ninja action figure in O-ring format.
There we go. We got him with his all his gear on there. You can see he's got the claws, and he's got the sword. You went with translucent blue because of Aaron's love of the Ninja Viper.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
Yeah, we wanted, so that was part of the, we wanted to get, we wanted those teal kind of, we had the teal ideas, and then I wanted to have double katanas, again going back to the Ninja Viper. So that was sort of an inspiration point. One of the inspiration points was Aaron's love of Ninja Viper, and then another inspiration point was, of course, Roma Collectibles had this Yeti mascot. So that's where the Yeti idea, we just pulled it right from there, from the Roma mascot. And then we found out from Aaron after we told him we were doing it that was actually his nickname in high school, and that's where the mascot for Roma Collectibles came from. So we didn't even know that.
No, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and so that just worked out, pretty perfectly. And then the weapons supplier and him being Yeti, the Arctic theme, it all just, so then we said, so we had all these ideas. And it was like all of it. It's all of those. We're gonna pack it into one super badass action figure, and here we are. So we showed off. Actually, it's a factory sample. So we had and Aaron didn't get to see the factory sample before he passed, but Chris Scott had designed the helmet and did some deco, and then Mark sculpted it up like lickety split. And we sent it over to our factory, and Dave Proctor really jumped on, the opportunity to help out with this. And I think it was Dave who suggested that we do the translucency, and got us a test shot right away of this, of the translucent plastic. And then we worked with Troy and John at Grindstone, and they had some things in the works, including some of these accessories. So we were able to really just get the whole team, get a lot of people together working on it, and it came together really kind of, it really gelled when we were all like, we're doing this, it's happening, and we worked together on it. It was great. And then we had Doug Hart, of course, do the packaging art, like we're doing, like Call Sign Lombo's doing all their retro packaging art from Doug. Operation Recall, and then our collabs, Skeletron collabs with Grindstone also used Doug Hart, and he knocked it out of the park with the packaging art as well. So we're moving forward with this figure, and we're going to announce it. We'll be giving you guys updates when it's ready to go. But we kind of pulled the trigger on it a little earlier than we expected, because we wanted to be able to talk about it at the celebration at Joe Fest for Aaron. So,
Toyoma Displays asking, can we expect the Yeti in a 6-inch version too? I'll buy both.
Yeah, we love that question. We're getting a lot of questions about that, about a modernized, for both modern 4-inch and 6-inch Yeti figure. So that's definitely something that Mark and I have been talking about for quite some time. So we'll see what the future holds on that. But we're vibing with the idea big time. Yeah,
we want to be able to put the small seats in the Robo Skull and have him fly that, and then take it out for the big seat and have him fly that too. So
totally. And we just love this figure a
I
lot.
love it.
Like
Yeah.
we just think that it came. I absolutely love this figure. So I can't I might be a little bit biased, but I just think he's super badass. Chris brought his A game right out of the gate with his concept for the helmet and the deco, and we love it. Like we just feel like he's like
Yeah, he's fun.
I just feel like 8-year-old me would have gone bananas for this figure, and he looks like some kind of ultimate badass meets kind of a Star Wars bounty hunter almost kind of vibe. And he's
right. That's it right there. Actually, the Star Wars bounty hunter vibe is really what I'm pulling off of it too, and that's kind of the draw there. That a lot of Red Shadow stuff has that vibe, and so I'm glad you tapped into that. That sums it up really well. That's a good distillation of it.
awesome.
So we got to see this, and again, this will be available to everybody at some point.
Yes, so we'll make an announcement when it's ready. And by the way, all the net proceeds of this sale of this particular figure will go to Mrs. Roma as well.
Smog17 asking, will you ever see a modern version of the Yeti along with an O-ring version of the Gyrewolf?
Perhaps on both counts. Great question though, and we get that question a lot, and that's some of the fun stuff that we're doing. Is we've had a lot of fun, taking the wolf, like our modernized Wolf Trooper design, and then we back rev that to retro, and now starting with a retro Yeti, and then what does that look like as a modernized? So we actually really have a good time kind of taking, going both directions depending on where we started with the figure. It's fun to go. It's fun to take a modern and retroize it. It's fun to take a retro and modernize it. So it's all fun. It's so much fun.
So much
right.
fun.
It should be. It's toys, man. Right?
We're enjoying
Absolutely.
Right. I spent some time working for Dick's Sporting Goods, and it's the one thing that always left me shaking my head about that job is that it should be fun to sell sporting goods, and it just never was. It's just somebody way up the ladder in that company just did not understand that this should be a gas. And I'm glad that you guys are making toys and having a gas, doing it. So what else did you have? I know this was not the only reveal that you had at the show.
Yeah, we had kind of a sneaky reveal too, and then we put it up at the online just a couple days ago, which was that we're doing a bonus, some bonus pack-ins on some of the rewards that are going to be coming up later this year. So there it is. So we revealed our Robonaut, and so this is a kit. It's the head. It's the gear that goes over the body. A new rifle and a ray gun, a new metallic finish, and so those are just some freebies that we're packing into that Robonaut heavy metal armor accessory that's coming out later this year. And it's just it's something cool we wanted to do to kind of enhance that Robonaut and give him a special pilot, and then just say that as a thank you for everybody who's been so gracious and supportive as we've worked through all these rewards from the RoboSkull Kickstarter. So it's a bonus, just a freebie that we're throwing into that. And then of course we have to take care of our 6-inch friends as well. So we had a pilot character kit, which allowed you to build Blood Wolf and Red Weasel. And so now we've got a third character you can build that's a free bonus add-on in that pilot kit, which is the 6-inch Robonaut. And these are, it's the accessory pieces. So you can take these and then build, use them to build out.
Uh-oh.
Fantastic.
Somebody hit the wrong button.
Right. This is officially on them. We get to give him hell about this. We didn't do this one. This one isn't on us.
Nope.
I was looking at a different window. I didn't even know he was gone. What the heck? Oh, Ben. I'm not going to blame Mark for it. Mark wasn't sitting by the keyboard.
No.
I don't think anyway. Maybe he was. Who can tell?
So anyway, this guy looks cool.
Yeah. You know, it says something too that I was looking at these pictures yesterday and earlier today, and yeah, Phil is trying to blame me. I had nothing to do with this one. Nothing to do with it. Doug Dello asked, "Do I think he's still talking?" I think there's a solid chance of that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to while I tell my brief anecdote, going to send a note. But I saw the two pictures online in the one post on Facebook, and I was not aware that they were in two different scales. So that's really the hallmark of a well-designed figure and well-designed accessories. Oh, here we go. He's back.
Hey, sorry, we had some technical difficulties.
What button did you hit?
I think Mark hit the mouse button. I'm blaming him. And also, by the way, you'll notice he's not with me right now. And so when we dropped off, he's like, "Hey, I gotta go anyways." And so anyone that knows Mark, he is the absolute master of the Irish goodbye.
Right there.
So that's how he does it, everybody. And if you've ever been to, if you've been to Joe Fest, if you've been to Assembly Required, this is what happens. It gets to be, some of us stay out till 2, 3, 4 a.m., but 9:45 rolls around p.m. and Mark will just vanish in thin air.
Yeah, Marauder Rubin also tried to pin this on me. No, not me this time. Not me. See? Job along in Toy City. He's got it figured out.
Yeah.
Sabotaging the stream to make his exit. That's how it goes. That's what it is.
So sorry for your luck. I'm back, but minus Mark.
Right. Our bonus guest is gone, so I don't feel like we're getting proper value anymore.
Well, we are getting the bonus Robonauts in both 4-inch and 6-inch form. So there you go.
Right. I was saying to Rob while I was messaging you to come back, to please come back. But I looked at this yesterday and again today, and it took me like the fourth time I looked at this post on Facebook was when I realized that they were actually the two different scales. Like they look the same in both shots, and that's really a credit to being some well-designed accessories and well-designed figures.
Thanks. Yeah, we're excited about this. He's cool.
Yeah, he looks pretty cool. he looks pretty badass. To use a Justin Bell term, that's pretty badass. What else you got, man? What else happened 2 weeks ago? We weren't at the party.
Well, we showed off. I got the. There's the. We already saw the photos, but there's our Yeti.
Let me get you in the big window. Hang on.
We've got the Yeti. We showed off the Yeti at Joe. So we had the Yeti at Joe Fest, and so that was new. We showed off the Robonauts, kind of sneakily, and then we also had we'd just gotten from the factory updated Skeletron test shots. So we'd showed off the first shots. There were some revisions, and so we got some factory from the factory some revised test shots for Skeletron, which is the kind of the figure that's been lagging behind even all the other figures in the process. But he's really looking great. We put up a video of his articulation in our secret lab the other day, but there's some really fun, I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but like he's got some really
the butterfly
cool articulation and stuff happening in the figure that I think just any action figure fans really gonna like, just to see these the movements and the bits and how they're all working on this particular action figure is really cool. Dave Proctor was the sculptor on this, and really put a lot into it to make the figure special. So he's taken a while, but he is on the way, and we're making really solid progress. And I'm just super excited to get this guy into everybody's hands.
That's the advantage of putting together a funky looking guy like that is that some bonus articulation or some weird articulation kind of gets baked in.
Yeah, he's got some weirdness, you know. He's got all kinds of, you know, crazy, you know, things that are, you know, that robot, you know, robotic human kind of cyborgy feel blend to him. So he's cool.
Yeah, the flesh colored parts there are offending Phil's sensibilities.
Well,
Gravy, he's naked.
Don't worry, we won't send this test shot your way then, Phil. No worries.
Right. Keep all things of value away from Phil.
Phil's genteel eyes.
He's young, you know.
So then, one of the other things we've got is, of course, he's got his laser sword. So he's got a nifty. Let's see if I can get in there. No, not really, but he's got a cool laser sword, and then that's coming with, you know, your standard laser blade that you can put in, or the swinging one too. So this is gonna be a really cool translucent blade. Like
we'll call that a version.
Yeah. So he's got his one. He's got one where he's just standing still, or he's got his big swinging blade as well. So that's cool. He's coming with two heads. So he's going to come with the standard head, and then we're throwing in, as we added as a bonus, he's got a screamer head as well. Nice. So that's kind of, again, sorry it's coming in crappy, but so yeah, he's awesome, and he's well underway at this point. We got a few more small adjustments on the test shot, and then he's rolling into production.
His Skeletor laugh head.
His powers are beyond our comprehension. Excellent.
So that it was that and a couple pallets of Robo Skulls at the show. You know, that was the other thing, is these, you know, those Robo Skulls take up a lot of room, and we were really appreciative because the gang at Joe Fest attendees relieved us of all of them, which was fantastic.
Hey, wow.
Much appreciated.
Well, that saves some shipping costs back,
right?
Yeah. And so we were planning our extras. We're going to go with Troy to DFW, but we sold them all. So then we just shipped Troy some additional fresh ones to DFW.
Yeah,
so
I know that broke your heart.
Yeah, right.
Darn, we sold more than we thought.
Oh no, come on.
We made more money.
So thanks to everybody that came out to Joe Fest and hung out and bought Robo Skulls and Red Shadows figures. It was a good time, and there was some great, you know, we never get to hang out as much as we want to on the show floor because we're working the booth. But Marauder had some awesome stuff. He did a Dino Hunters theme with some dinosaurs from Creative Beasts, which are like, they make the best dinosaurs. If you didn't know that, Creative Beasts, I think it's creative-beasts.com, 1/18th scale accurate, you know, dinosaurs. And then Eddie American worked with, Eddie's such a great guy, part of the Marauder crew, you know, great photographer. He put together some just amazing, you know, Dino Hunter builds to fight these dinosaurs, and showed up built a whole dio, and it was a good time.
Excellent. I was sick that I missed it this year. I kept the room reservation until the week before. Like, I held out that hope that, you know what, we'll figure out a way to make the money work, and, you know, just kind of held in there, and it's just like, yeah. So,
I'm sorry you didn't make it. You'll have to make sure you come next year.
Yeah, we'll try. Let's anyways. There's a whole other, I could dribble off like a drunkard for the rest of the evening on stuff like that. But Marauder Rubin admits that he still has to open his skull, and I would just say he probably lives in a bad enough part of town that somebody will do that for him.
I
don't know what neighborhood he lives in, but Reuben, you gotta crack that skull open. That thing's a beauty.
Right?
It's a beauty.
It just seemed appropriate
on the goo inside.
It just seemed appropriate to make a joke about Reuben getting his head knocked open. So he blamed me for you getting kicked off the show there. So, and I had nothing to do with it. It was Marco Byrne and his flashy Irish goodbye, both flamboyant and subtle at the same time.
Yes, indeed.
So I guess that pulls us into the station on this one, man. We'll start to wind this up.
Holy mackerel.
Ben Conway, what do you got for shout outs, man?
Oh man, I could do so many shout outs. I could do this for days. I'll try to keep it tight though. But shout out to Marauder.
Before you start,
shout out to Troy. Yeah.
The Gunny wants to know, did you eat any of his cookies?
Did I eat any of his cookies? What were Dennis's cookies? Who had I need some context here.
Dennis is the Gunny. He's the gentleman who was riding around on the scooter with all the machines and stuff.
I don't think I was offered those cookies. I ate shout out to Carson because he had cookies in his booth and I went over and ate them. So those are the cookies that I ate. And then
those might have been the cookies.
Yeah.
Oh, those might have been the cookies. I ate cookies at 3D Joe's at the Operation Recall that Carson had. And then shout out to Matt Slaymaker on the Marauder crew, because he also brought cookies that from Iowa that his daughter is going into business selling cookies, and he tested them on us and they were absolutely amazing. So I don't know the name of that of Matt Slaymaker's fledgling cookie company, but if I had it, I 1000% endorse that.
Right. We'll stick with Matt Slaymaker's fledgling cookie company. It sounds good.
Yeah, there you go. And so if those were your cookies, I did eat some of your cookies, and I thank you very much, because what happens is we get so busy at the booth and then we don't eat lunch or breakfast, because I'm also trying to sleep in because I didn't get enough sleep. So getting a cookie, an impromptu cookie infusion during the show is like manna from heaven. It's so helpful. So thank you.
Yeah, he last year he was the guy who dropped the cake on our table.
I remember that. An entire cake.
Yeah, it was a huge cake.
A 3-layer cake.
There's an entire corner of that sales floor that continually thanks him for breakfast. So,
what a guy. What a hero.
He's amazing cake. I don't know if you had any of the cake, Ben, but it was amazing.
I didn't. I saw it, but
that's another reason why I was just sick. I couldn't make it because I knew the Gunny was bringing baked stuff.
Yeah,
I was in, man.
Yeah, it was good. Those are good cookies. Thanks again.
But go on, Ben. Your other shout outs.
Oh yeah. So I mean, getting into it, just on cookies, I had multiple shout outs I have to give. Shout out to Ed Schumacher, who put on a great show. Thanks again for doing this very special celebration of life for Aaron. Shout out to Toy Department and Kenny and Chris and all those guys for helping out. Shout out to James Hitchcock at that for he set up the equipment. Shout out to Savage Rob and the Savage Crucible gang over there. They're always helpful at show setups. Those guys are real professionals. Those guys do a great job. The Marauder gang, obviously, we wouldn't get our booth set up in any kind of time except for MJ, Marauder John, and the Marauder crew are just like on it. And we do this thing where I kind of stand around like I'm trying to help, but they're already like organized and they've got it like divided and divide and conquer, and they have a whole operation. These guys are skillful, to say the least.
Well, it's been how many years for them? It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. And huge shout out to Eddie American. He's at Billy Kessler on Instagram, who jumped all over taking some photos coming back from Joe Fest of the Robonauts so that we could put them up when we got back from the show. So shout out to Eddie, who I don't know if you guys do you guys know Eddie American at all, who does the photography and works the Marauder booth?
I've probably met him, but I've met all those guys, but I don't necessarily know their names.
Yeah. So nice guy Eddie. He is just the best. So shout out to Eddie. Thanks for everything you do for us, Eddie. Shout out to Corey Cantaloupe, who was helping us out at the booth, helping us out with all sorts of Skeletron things. Shout out to Sam, who helped us out at the booth as well. And shout out to, again, that entire crew who showed up for the celebration of life, and those people who also helped put the figure together. So I think that's probably good for. I got more, but I can zip it so you guys can
No,
do your.
dude, take your time, dude. Get your shout outs. If you need to shout, then shout. This is your time.
All right, shout out to Carson for sharing those cookies with me, and he put together. I got one of the I bought one of the sets of the Mark Pennington like concept arts for gosh, what's it? Moss? I'm gonna butcher his name. The leader, the bad guy leader, Moss. I can't.
Montefiore.
Yes, Montefiore, and that's and shout out to David who designed that figure and also brought rum to Joe Fest. So big shout out to David and all of his for his design skills and especially for the rum and passing the rum around. No thanks at all to Chris Neal for bringing that 99 shot disgusting whatever it is. I don't know what it is. It's like gasoline with like pineapple flavors and crazy bad shots that he passed around at Joe Fest and peer pressured me into taking many of those.
I've known Chris Neal for a long time. If there's one thing that he is always good for, it's peer pressure and alcohol.
Yeah, and just lousy booze too. Like it's not good.
Peer pressure and bad liquor.
Yeah, bad liquor. The worst liquor.
You got to throw it back in his face, man. I remember early on in my run with him, he was kept trying to throw Fireball at me because he didn't think I drank. And he tossed one to me. And I just threw the cap off immediately. It's like, let's go. And he like that freaked him out. He really hasn't done that to me since. So you got to be aggressive right back to him.
I have tried that actually, Mike, and my experience was a little different. So
all right then. I'm sorry. All right then.
Shout out to Brian Kaufman who hooked me up with a very awesome. I should pull that out right now, but I'm not going to. But it's a beautifully cast Robo Skull from bootleg Robo Skull that goes really well with this Yeti figure color scheme. So that was really, really gorgeous work from Kaufman. He had a bunch of really cool stuff that he put together that was at the toy department booth. And shout out to Sarah for being there at the show. It wasn't I'm sure it wasn't an easy thing for her to go to, but I think it was really special, and we appreciated her being there and look forward to seeing her hopefully again there next year. Yeah.
All right, you got them all this time.
Some more will come to mind, but I'm good for now.
All right. If you want more, again, you're the guest. You get as much time as you want for shout out.
Hey, I'll give a shout out to Lenny and the classified crew because they keep bringing the heat, man. They're slinging fun stuff, and that line has gotten so deep and it's been going on so long. And I don't think anybody I don't know about you guys, but as a G.I. Joe fan, I would have never anticipated that this line has the legs that it does and is still, and we're still being surprised and we're still, having fun, a ton of fun with that line. So, and that's really kudos to Lenny and that crew for continuing to pull that off.
Agreed. I think they had a sliver of an opportunity that they kicked the doors open on, and I think Lenny and Tony and everybody who's been involved with making great toys, and Emily who's involved with selling great toys, and they're just the folks that we see on camera, but there's a whole team of them, and we owe them quite a bit.
Yeah, and thank you guys for inviting me on the show. I appreciate it.
Hey, always. Whenever you want to show up, man.
Yeah, thanks everybody who's joined and is supporting us. We've got so many great supporters of the Skeletron since we launched, and that's why we're still here because the support's it's just been amazing. So, thank you.
All right, Rack Time Rob.
Hey, thanks to Ben and Mark for coming on tonight.
By the way, if Ben just starts talking over you with more shout outs, just get out of his way.
All right, yeah. And thanks again to the studio audience for tuning in.
Yeah, I will echo Rob's shout out for the studio audience. We appreciate you showing up every week. It's a lot of the same names. We appreciate the new folks who showed up. Make sure that you're doing all that cool YouTube stuff down there. Click the like button and click the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Leave us a nice big boy comment to help get all that interaction going. That's what drives the engine these days. What helps us grow. We appreciate you watching, but while you're here, do one of the very free things that help us even more by clicking buttons and tapping keys. We want to thank our wonderful friends and sponsors at Kokomo Toys. We'll sing the theme song real quick. Kokomo Toys. Kokomo Toys. You're a little sharp there, Ben. You got to work on that. A little pitch.
Yeah, I didn't. Shout out to Todd at Kokomo Toys.
But don't forget the boss, man. You got the mayor. Don't forget the boss. Don't forget Amber.
Shout out to Amber.
She'll cut you, man.
And then take the donut.
Shout out to our live crowd. Shout out to you if you are catching us on replay. You count just as much. Don't think for a minute we don't love you any less. Same rules apply though. Do all that cool YouTube stuff down below, and it'll be even better. And lastly, for our audio listeners, I'm going to apologize in advance. You're not going to hear this just yet. I am so far behind on getting audio replays up on the Podbean channel. My bad. It's just been a rough couple of weeks as far as the time that I get to spend on show prep and post show and all that other good stuff. So unfortunately, something had to bend in the month of June because work for me went crazy. And unfortunately, it was just the few minutes that I spend on that while I'm getting ready for the show proper. We will fix that next week. As I have said several times, there is no new show next week. I have to readjust my schedule a little bit. I'm going to be working overnights again.
Yay!
But no change to the show itself. We're still going to be Wednesday at 9, just not next week. Make sure that you are celebrating safely this July 4th. Happy birthday, America. It's been an interesting year. Let's hope it clears up a little bit on the way out. But birthdays are always a good place for new beginnings. So let's hope that goes well. And be safe. Come back and see us again in 2 weeks, and make sure you've got all your thumbs attached. There's 2, should be 2. So take stock now on how many thumbs you've got and how many you should be coming back to us with. Happy birthday, Andrew Gaugan, revealing to us here on the big program his birthday, July 4th.
Wow.
So there you go.
What a great birthday to have.
Right?
Does that guy, Andrew, you can't have both your thumbs still, right? I mean, it's
not possible.
Yeah.
There's at least a pinky gone.
He's like an 82 zap.
Yeah. Just anyways. That's a graphic I made last year. So anyhow, that's what we got. As our friend Vagon likes to say, stay safe, and if you can't, be careful. That's right. That's it. It's been a long day, folks.
Yeah. Happy 4th of July, everybody. And remember, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Thanks to Ben Conway and the recently departed Marco Byrne for being on the show. And I'm going to talk about him like he just died on the program, but sure.
Why not? Hey, he could have left, normal.
He gave us the Irish goodbye. We're going to give him the Irish wake. So be sure to join us not next week. What's that going to be? July 16, back on the big channel. We'll be back at 9:05 on Wednesday, Eastern time for all you folks out west and in parts unknown for another episode of What's on Joe Mind. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great holiday. And yo, Joe.
Keep your thumbs.